Hello, guys. Onyx again. If you can't understand what I'm saying or why I'm saying it, oh well. Hmm. Um, I know this is a rant, and I'll try to stay on topic. However, it may not be on topic. And if I offend you, fuck you. I don't give a shit. Because we have too much coddling, too much hand holding in the community. Um, we all have different perspectives, and we all have different ways of talking to each other. Some we trust and some we don't trust. I've sat back and watched what was going on in the black sector of YouTube, but in this case, this would probably be the a little wedge in the black YouTube sector called in the I guess in the crowds of Tariq, Tommy, and TRS. I've watched what was going on in this whole month, and the people who are on it, and the former people who are on it, the former men of TRS, the former ladies of TRS, I've just kind of sat back. Haven't really been calling in the shows lately. Haven't really been participating much at all. Um, I wanted to take a step back and examine things thoroughly over and over and over. And I've noticed that we have a lot of uneducated people. What I mean by that is we seem to have people that want to spread a message. They don't have the knowledge, they don't have the life experience, they know nothing of what they're talking about, whether it be interracial dating, whether it be economics, whether it be education, whether it be traveling, whether it be getting your credit up. But some people understand this, but they're not speaking up. You guys know who you are. And I also noticed that we have hypocrites in our community. We have a lot of hypocrites. Now, why do I say that we have a lot of hypocrites? Um, I hop between shows. I just listen. I still listen. I don't participate. Tommy and then Woodgrain and then TRS and then uh, Tariq Nasheed. Right? It's not so much the host, but it's more so the listeners. Um, and I watch some of your videos. All Facts, Big J, and I'm not attacking one particular person. I'm just the message and the words of what we're talking about. But basically, I just kind of want to break it down into the areas of people who speak on black issues and who are more on the radical side, and then people who are not so radical, um, but we get labeled as we hate black folks and we hate our community, and you get people, you get two different camps. You get the I love black and only black, and then you get the people who aren't so much on the end of uh, radical and I hate these, all white people are the devil, and if you ain't black, get out of our, what. I guess I'm on that side of the fence. But I have hopped over on the other side, right? And those of you who know already know I'm a listener. You guys already know this about me. Uh, I still listen. I listen to Tariq Nasheed religiously. entertaining. I've been listening to them, so I've been a loyal listener. I used to listen to Tommy for a long time. Then I was a listener and heavily wanted to participate in TRS. However, I do not anymore. Uh, I just chose to do my own projects on YouTube, which I'm still sit back developing, writing out stuff, decide what I want to do. When I decide to come back, and it's going to be a while before I participate again, because I've sat back and watched. Because when I came from the camp of Tariq and then going to Tommy and then going to TRS, um, I was very critical. Um, and of my community. We see so many things we don't like. The David Carrolls, the Tommies, the Freddies, or the Onyxes, or whatever. The 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 who else? The Sergeant Willie P's. Guys like us. See, now I said guys like us because when I went over to the other side to see what was going on, what was Tommy talking about, and went over there. I got a different perspective of the game a little bit. And I listened over the past 3 years to a lot of different shows. Some radical, some not so radical. Nikki Love, the Nikki Love show. I also listened to Gus T. Renegade. And they have bits and parts of what you can take. Some stuff on history. Like Sir the Duke of Tears. He has the stuff you can listen to. And then you watch videos like Sarah Sudiseti and King Noble. You can take bits and parts of what they say. Not one person has the answer in this community. They don't. None of you have the right answer. You have a piece of the pie, but you don't have the whole damn thing. And everyone likes to act like they got the whole thing. You don't. Stop it. You don't. Freddie has one piece, but that's one piece to a puzzle that 40 million black people in America can fit. We all have one. We can put it together together. I know what it's like in areas of like my expertise of what I can give advice for people would be on what it's like to live in an assimilated society. What is life like in the suburbs? What is life like? What's it like? Dating a such a race, or what's it like being isolated, and then making connections with other people other than black folks. What's it like being in the room and having other people of different races, especially the dominant society, telling you what they think about your race or what their interaction is? What's that like, being the fly on the wall, or the person hearing these? That's why I made the web series Tales of a Snitch. It might be resurrected in some way later on but it's neither here or there. That's my expertise. Some of you, that's where I'm able to, see things. I have different walks of life. I'm a very eclectic, diverse person. What another person, which I'm not so well versed in, can talk about what's it like living in, growing up in a family to where you had black pride and black love, and they can tell you what it's like living in a single parent home, which I can too. But they can tell you what it's like not having a father or a mother. They can tell you what it's like being in and out of jail. If they grew up in like a rough neighborhood like Oakland, or maybe Compton somewhere, or maybe somewhere in Georgia, or somewhere in around Chicago, or maybe a town, or maybe the Bronx somewhere. They could tell you what that's like. This person can tell you what it's like to be a rough neighborhood. This person Like me, I can't tell you what it's like living in a rough neighborhood. I can tell a little bit, but I didn't grow up like that. Another person can tell you what it's like overseas. Another black person can tell you what it's like overseas. What's it like living in UK? What's it like living in Africa? Or what's it like living in Latin America? Not all of us have one answer, and I wish that we'd all stop acting like we know all of it. And I'm not gonna say I haven't done or said ignorant things or acted like I knew something, but one thing I do know, I'm a very articulate person, and I can outshine a lot of motherfuckers in vocab and critical thinking and a lot of people. There are some people who can outdo me, but I give you a run for your money when I make you think from a different perspective. I can really outdo you once I know something, and once I thoroughly examined it. I can make you think in ways that you didn't. I could flip what you say and make you look it at a different angle because I just looked at it that way and make connections and just think on a because where I learned this from. Well, I kind of thought about it when I really liked how because the people I like to follow is Booker T. Coleman and Francis Cress Welsing. I like their deep intuitive thinkers. They think. They think. Um, that's the people I subscribe to. Um, and I've always tried to get people on the people on Tariq and Tommy camp. We on that end, and I don't listen to Tommy, but I understand the why I went over there and what I listened to. Some of you already know this anyway, but let me explain it again. People like us, we can listen to a show like that because a lot of the stuff Tommy says, it does not apply to us. That's why we listen to it. Some of us listen to it because the men on the show wanted a man-friendly show. It was not friendly towards black women. That's the opposite. And I just realized that the opposite of that would be TRS. TRS is a woman-friendly show. It's not friendly towards men. It's not. But and I explained this to I had a discussion with Tyrone, and I said, Tommy is good at exposing the faults of our community, especially black women, right? What he's lacking is putting enough, balancing it out with, you know, our dirt with our positive stuff and our positive people or positive examples of black females or black people who's very critical. And what he has always been saying is prove me wrong because he doesn't make these stories up. And I know that Tariq and David Carroll and maybe some stuff that I've said, I know that we, and I'm including myself in this bunch because I have listened and subscribed to them at certain times, so I'm honest about that. But we don't make things up when we see it. Now, those two guys I just mentioned, and Sarge Willie P, and other people and the fans that listen to him, it is hateful for what they say. But if you don't have enough, you don't live in reality, and if you don't have enough mental capacity to know that if you're smart enough, you'll know not to take in their hatred, but to look at the message that they're saying. Here's our dirt. Yes, they hate black folks. And yes, I hate certain entities or certain sectors of the black community. It's not a felony to hate a certain mentality. It's not a felony to hate certain individuals for the way they act. And I'm sick of it. So that's why I take a step back. I'm going to look back and look at different sides. I've seen different sides, and finding your place and trying to see where you fit and what do you know, what's your niche in this whole area. And I found my niche. I know what my niche is, but my point is, if you cannot look at our dirt as a community and be the one to want to clean it up, see, Tommy, David, and David Carroll and Sarge Willie P, and even to me to a certain degree, who else? Tariq to a certain degree, but he's kind of more balanced with it. If you don't have the ability, if we don't have the ability to see our dirt and how ugly we act, how ugly our women, how ugly and miss our children, how ugly, and I mean mentally and psychologically, how messed up we are as a people in a community. If we don't have the ability to say, hey, look, we are not perfect, we suck at certain things, and we are horrible at others, and we're good in some areas, if we don't have the ability to look at that and want to clean it up and not tolerate certain behaviors anymore, then why are we even trying to have these discussions? Because on the other end of the spectrum, TRS, if you want to coddle people and if we can't say that, you know what, some of our women, our black sisters, some of y'all, yeah, there are, and I'm saying this because I say some, I'm not saying all. If we say, okay, some of our women are irresponsible with their vaginas, our daughters and our little sons, they act like damn animals. I mean, I'm just saying, I've heard that on TRS, and David can chastise, and hey, rightfully so, you don't like to hear it. But if you cannot accept that these behaviors are not normal and they're not acceptable amongst other cultures when we interact them, we'll even put in the fact that you have to stomach and you have to accept the fact that there are, and this is what one girl brought to me. Y'all know Divine, but no other people. But and that's what I realized. A lot of this footage I see that we as African Americans are. This is African Americans from what I could see. I see some crazy shit in other countries, but not too much. But what I mostly I see in videos from where we are, us Black Americans, is Black Americans. When we're pulling out cell phones and recording crazy shit on bus stations and train stations and schoolyards and tearing up McDonald's, and nobody likes us when we do this. They hate us. They fear us. They want to lock us up, which you wonder why we have trials, and it takes so long for people like Jordan Davis and Trayvon Martin and Eric Garner and John Crawford and Oscar Grant, who was my friend's cousin. Why they have to get justice, and people justify, or they have it hard. They have a hard time innately within their soul to think and wonder why these dudes, do they deserve justice? No. It's not right, and we need to pay attention. Because if you cannot admit that we have faults, and you want to blame it on a system or a degenerate culture that we see on TV that programs us to act this way, yes, there is a system. Yes, there is a culture that seeks to keep us where we are mentally, psychologically, and even economically. Now, the economic part's harder to, but easier said than done. The economic part is a little harder to do, but that's a battle that we all have to face. The political would even be a bigger battle, but that starts economic. But the social implications, the cultural, we could, that's where it starts. If we cannot admit that some of us, we lack some type of culture, our social skills, and everything else. If we want to say that this culture makes us do what we do, and we don't want to, you don't want to admit at the same time, I suck at it. People look at me a certain way. I'm faulty in my way I walk, in my style, in my speech, in my whatever. If you can admit, or if we cannot admit, and you have other black folks remind you, keep in mind that we don't even, there are some African people that do not want to associate with us. There are some black Hispanics that do not want to associate with us, don't even want to be black. There are some African Caribbean people that do not want to associate with us. They may want to, but maybe they don't. And if we don't accept that even our own brothers and sisters, never mind everyone else, never mind them for a minute. If we don't accept that our other African ethnic groups who see us and they're like, Americans, if we can't accept that, then don't have a problem with them not wanting to associate with you. Because and don't have a problem with black folks who are in different social groups trying to avoid your ass. Never mind everyone else, because they don't have no reason to associate with us. But I do. Black skin. You know, I got bald head looking like Tupac. When I was younger, I had a fro. I got the thunder in my voice like a black man. I look like a black man. I have a reason to associate with you. I have the same soul as you to a certain degree. I have the same mode of thinking to a certain degree. But even brothers like me have a hang up of wanting to associate with a certain demographic of African Americans and only hangs out with this group of African Americans, but then it goes over here. So I'm just one of many. And let's get into our sisters who have the same hang-ups, which leads into another discussion. I would say black female relationships. If our sisters grew up with no dad, they grew up with no mom, or their mom taught they got their dating practices from their mother, if she had any good healthy relationship skills at all, if her dad was not around and her brother wasn't shit and her stepdaddy wasn't shit, matter of fact, her grandfather might have shit and her uncles might not have been shit, right? And she uses this as bad example or lack of an example of a black man to justify the steps that she does. And then brothers who have the same story. I saw my mama, she did this, and his mama treated him bad, or he had no mother at all, or the women in his family wasn't shit, so therefore black women ain't shit. Hence you get Tommy Sotomayor. Doesn't he get to use the example? No, he's supposed to get over it. No, he's supposed to not hate on you. If the black women get to use that excuse, and it's not an excuse, it's fact, and I'm not taking that away from you, but don't take it away from now Tommy knows, but we're not gonna say Tommy, but other men who had just as whose stories is the same as yours, and you have the gall to take that away from him, but you get to continue on your tirades and your hate. How you doing, Miss Archduchess? But you have the how you doing, Ocean? But you have the gall to go in your tirades and all these little black folks we find with us black men, my brothers. But don't let the brothers speak. Their vomit and their pain and their dirt. If you get to use your story and hang your hat on this and say, damn, this is my story. This is his story. No, you don't get one. No, sorry. He gets to use it too. Now, I don't agree this just randomly disrespecting each gender, which I notice black women get it, but then again, we don't know how many videos are seen That's the thing. You don't know how many videos, I don't know how many diss videos on black men are made by black women. I don't know. Now, you may see more of it from black men, and I don't approve of it, but I also understand it. I don't get a kick out of it, but I do understand it. It's not right for black men to just throw their crap out there about the gender. And I think no other race does this as bad as we do, but as much as us. But and it's not right. So don't think I'm not that biased. I do have a brain. I can understand. I can see both sides. You know. And that goes to my brother out there. You know. Some of my brothers who do call on the show. Um, what's his name? I don't want to say his name. I've dropped some names. I don't think too many, but I'll just say in general. I don't want to drop his name. But if my brother that I talk to occasionally in private, if he tells you he prefers you, my sister, right? And then but he's like losing hope. If my brother loses hope in his sisters, even though he's remained loyal, he stayed there. He's stuck in there, just like that damn sister over there who's stuck in there for the brothers, but who stayed there. But you want to hold your fucking excuse as to, well, you just exposed yourself, my brother. And this is the words of the lady I heard on the show, TRS. Well, if you want to go there and date what you like, quit trying to find excuses to not date a sister. You don't say that to the sisters. Because the thing is, I'm very understanding. Because personally, I guess I don't expose this too much, but guess what? Not only the brothers who tell me these things that they've lost hope in the sisters, some of these sisters, they tell me they have lost hope in some of the brothers too. And they say the same damn thing. There's the other side of that story, which I really don't expose. I guess it's a tales of a snitch. Some of the sisters that I talk to personally in my life, or occasionally, they get tired of you damn brothers, because these sisters, they do stick by you. They do that. Our sisters who do that. I'm admitting that right now. My brothers and my sisters out here who confess to me that they've stuck by, and my brothers and my sisters who, in my personal life, who have said that they stayed here in this community. They stuck with the sisters. The sisters stuck with the brothers. They want a relationship, and they prefer us over everybody else. It would take a mountain and a half, a bitch and a half, to not go anywhere else. But when you act ugly and you push them aside and you spit in their face, they have a breaking point. The females are emotionally burnt down and burnt out by the brothers, and they tell me this shit. And the brothers, all their confidence in the sisters is gone, and it's almost not even worth trying to be with them, because they're so fed up at this point. They're like, man, I'll go get me something else. And when you talk to them, they're fucking hateful. They hate us. And I can see the bitterness in some of these sisters' voices. I guess you only care when I mention sisters. I only mention them. I guess you don't understand, my brother. You don't understand that the difference between me and some of these people, we're kind of the same boat, but I grew up in mixed social gatherings, so it's pretty fucking normal to me. But some of you motherfuckers can't stand the fact that they've just lost faith in us. They can't stand us. They hate us. Hell, they probably think that I'm gonna hold it against them. No, I can't, because I've seen how we treat each other. We don't know how to treat each other with love and dignity and respect. We ain't got no damn manners. We don't know how to talk. We don't know how to treat each other right. So don't be mad if you see a people like us with other people who don't look like a mommy or a daddy. Oh, let's get into the next thing. My brothers. When we want to be brothers and make friends with each other and have camaraderie, if you cannot look out for one another, don't even bother with saying hello to that brother. If you can't look at the next black man and he stares at you for 2 seconds, maybe he looked at you for 2 seconds, he and then you want to get out your car and kick his ass, then maybe you don't need to have black friends, because you just don't know. You respond like a day. See, the thing is, that's almost like, and I hate to say it, but I, I get angry when I cannot look at a brother, and then I'm a person who says I don't give a shit. Further is fed up. It's too much silliness, cooney buffoonery. I remember this is a situation. This is how examples how we are. I was trying to get an apartment, and I was waiting for the person of the building to come in so I can sign some papers and look at the complex and see the rooms in which I wanted to get into. Black man walks down. I looked through the doorway up the stairs to see who was there. This nigga comes down and has the damn audacity to look at me crazy as if I had stripped away and called him a pussy ass bitch. I didn't say that to him. All I did was look up, and he got mad that I looked a little bit too long at his ass. I was looking to see if you were that person that I was trying to talk to. It was an older white lady who was the person who I need to talk to. But anyway, yeah, it's like, brother, I looked at you for 2 seconds. Don't act like I had challenged you to a fight. I didn't say, hey, what's up, nigga? Fuck you. You and my clique, bitch. Get out of my. I didn't say that. All I did was look up the damn stairs for 2 seconds to see, and I turned away. And it's like, nigga, what you looking for? Huh? What's it? I'm like, nothing, dude. And he goes, and he looked at me like I'm crazy for looking there. Let me give you another example. There's a brother who he has a little scraper, his car. Me and this Mexican dude. Now I said, dude, he's blasting his music. Okay, whatever. He's driving through the neighborhood. Nigga, drive your damn car. No one gives a fuck of how loud you can blast your music and if your car. And he's looking out the damn window just to see who's noticing his colorfully loud ass car with the shiny ass rim. Yes, see, there was some shiny ass rims, and it was like half of like 6 feet off the ground. He had some big ass wheels, so you can see the under of the car. You can literally dive under it. And blasting music hella loud, which I mean, whatever. Yeah, it's the hood, whatever. You got scraper. My point is, this attention deprived ass motherfucker would be the same one to stop his car, wanting to get out the car and kick your ass just for looking at him. But this bitch ass nigga wanted to see who was looking at him because he wanted some fucking attention. And then once he gets it, he get mad. Nigga, drive your damn car. We're looking at you, wondering why are you noticing, why are you paying attention and trying to look out for who's looking at you. It's hard not to look once you're driving at like parade speed. Yeah, bitch, drive your fucking car. Sick of niggas. We don't need a black community. We need an intelligent black community that's not attention deprived. Sisters, I know two females, right? I'm gonna say this. I know there's a problem in our community when I have black women my age, about three of them, when they make it hard, when you make it hard for other black women to want to be around you. And you make it even harder when they own the three of them. Three out of the four, yeah, three of them, they tell me they got sons like 9, 15, and 10, and they do not want, they're reluctant to say, this is the crop of black women of our generation. She says, our generation's ratchet. I don't want my sons dating these sisters. It's real sad that they don't, some don't even want to have black female friends or my own sisters who tell me these things. And I sit down and listen to them. I'm on, damn, that's sad. I'm not even encouraging the hatred. I'm just listening. So when you listen, pay the fuck attention. Say, maybe I better raise my son better. Maybe I better raise my daughters better so black men are gonna want them. If you can't be anything, and that's another thing. No, actually, I'm gonna touch on this. If you can't be anything, if you can't, if I have these black women my age, one's a little older, but they both tell me, well, actually, no, it was quite a few. If they tell me that they're reluctant to have their own black sons date black women and would rather see them with non-black women, that is a problem. And these are just 4 women I've heard in the past year who told me this. In the city I live in, just in the city that I live in, never mind the rest of the country. In California, in one city in California, 4 women. I can only imagine times that by 50 states and all black folks up in, all black female in it. Or put that on our last 2 generations that we had. If you have just 4 women, how many other brothers are hearing this, man? I don't know if I want my son, or let's vice versa. I don't know if I want my daughters dating these black men because it's not even productive. It's not beneficial. That's a problem, and you need to pay attention, and you need to listen. This retardedness in our community, which you don't want to listen to our faults and don't want to fix it. You want to blame, play victim, but you don't want to face up to your own problems, the damage that we have. It's like having AIDS, the needle's right there to inject the cure, but you still want to enjoy and relish in the fact that you have AIDS. Oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. No, you just want to, no, maybe you like it and maybe you enjoy it. No one's better than the next person, but sometimes it feels like it fucking is. Why? Because some of us don't have the same fucking problems. Some of us have social problems. I have more social issues. Some of us have economic issues. Those of you who stay in more social impoverished environments. We don't have the same issues. We're under the same system, but we don't have some of the same issues. Now, collectively, as a whole, we have the same issues, but individually, not the same. But which brings me back to the point. If you can't show other people within your race a good example, good association, if you can't be the person that they'd want to associate with, you have no right to complain about where they're going to get acceptance, love, political party views or benefits, or better housing or anything, or love, respect. You have no right to complain. Now you might bring up the argument, Freddie, Why so much hatred? Some of the shit you say, it sounds like a white supremacist. We might say the same thing, but he can look at us and say those niggas over there, they don't like get their shit together, blah 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 blah. He has no, so he has no reason to associate. He has no reason to even. He can just criticize all he wants. It doesn't take away from him. The fact is, even we all look like we get judged as a group, no matter how much we want to separate, and no matter how much like, we try to distance ourselves from other people, other black folks, we get judged regardless. And some of it is a whole lot faster than others. Reality, none of us can get away from stereotypes, but some do manage to, I would say, at least keep the stereotypes in suspended animation. If they can do it forever, they can. Or slow down the judgment to the point where people will think before they act. But this is on an individual basis. They can't get away from it, but depending on how you behave and carry yourself, you can get motherfuckers to think twice about what they're gonna do to you, socially, economically, or any way. You can do that. You can't stop it, but you can manipulate a situation at best. And I had someone tell me this, and I listened to in the past. I've briefly looked at a couple of videos of what some white supremacists have said about black people, um, and some of the things that I have said the same thing that a what so-called white supremacist said. I keep it real, yeah. Sometimes it's worse than what I said. Sometimes the things that Tommy says, it's the same thing a white supremacist said. Sometimes the same thing that David Crow said, it's just dead on of what a white supremacist would say. You might say a so-called racist white person, which you might call whomever. But the fact is, you want me or us or other black folks who are sick of being stereotyped. You want us to identify with you, but you don't want to be someone who another black person want to identify with. You don't even like the people in your community. You don't even like yourself. You don't even like, some of you don't like your mama, but you want to, you don't like your daddy, but don't even want to be daddy sometimes. You don't even like yourself sometimes. How the fuck you want the next person, but we all have Willie Lynch syndrome? You don't even want to be careful and you don't even want to follow. Matter of fact, read the book Nellie Fuller. While you're at it, read Francis Cress Wilson books while you're at it, you dumb uneducated motherfucker. You don't even, I mean, those who disagree with what I'm saying, if you understand and you're smart, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying because you feel the same fucking way that I do. If you do not want to be the example that, or strive to be the example that you wish you saw in other black people, if you don't want to be the black person that you wish to associate with, if you don't want to be the person that you wish you saw in other people who look like you, then don't ask the next person to be that. Don't ask them to be part of this community, or lack thereof. Don't ask them for their help when you never even are in a position to give the same back. If you can't give the same back, don't ask them to give it. Money, acceptance, loyalty, camaraderie, an opportunity, political or otherwise, don't ask them. Especially when you know you're gonna fuck up and no runoff, and prove them right in the fact that in their jadedness. If you're gonna prove them right in their jadedness, do not even bother. So I say right now, prove it. Prove it, black woman, black man. Prove in the fact that this person or that person needs to be together and we all need to get hands. Prove it. Be the person. Don't just say it. Because I at least make sure that this motherfucker over here and that nigga over there is going to earn my damn trust. You just want to go willy-nilly. Being black ain't enough. I'm sorry. No, it's not. Sorry. No, nigga, it's not enough for me. It never was. Excuse me if I'm pissed off at certain individuals in my community because I have to work twice as hard just to be taken seriously and not a threat to other people. But you're a walking fucking stereotype or whatever, or you fit this description of someone's jadedness of African Americans to a T. But at the same time, you don't want to sit here and prove motherfuckers wrong about who we are. You just make it harder. It's just in the next person's eyes, the next white person, Mexican's eyes, I look so much more attractive to them. I get the compliments. Damn, I'm not that much better than that the next nigga you saw. I just know that not to be that, just to get some, just to be civil, just to operate through society. You know, you gotta see him be. It's first thing is gonna be two people. You gotta be two people. You gotta be this and that. Black over here and not so black on one end. It's frustrating. And I know that, yeah, this tirade, whatever. I know it. You're like, man, this motherfucker, he hates black people. He can't stand. Hey, look, I have a right to not stand. I have every right. And every motherfucker who cannot stand the the negative images on social media that every other person across the world, black and not black, see this in America. And you wonder why others are like, I'm not at this, I don't want to be over here, and don't put me with this person. They're scared of you, they hate you, they're embarrassed by you. And I mean those who disagree with what I'm saying, or who always have a different or have an opposing view. Not the ones that know what I'm talking about, because not everyone is going to disagree with the things I say, and not everyone is going to agree with everything that I say. But also, there are other people that are not going to disagree with everything that I say. I'm gonna get a mixture of both. See, that's where you get the whole different angles of thinking. I'm smart. I'm a smart guy, but um, I am naive in some ways. I'm not perfect, but I'm learning. And the last thing, those who personally know me and the shit that I've said, I was at least honest and brave enough to admit the things that you say about other black people, but you never had black people admit it to its entirety. And when I said certain things, you could not handle it. And when we do, we get shut off, ran off, killed off, or and we're not even trying to hurt nobody. We're just like, this is really what it is. I'm that person you talk about. I'm that person that felt this way. I'm this person that did this. One thing I can promise, and one thing that I know other people like me can change, growth, a better perspective. And when we do, we actually have more life experience than you. You dumb motherfuckers that are hurt by everything that I say, not the ones that agree with me and know what I'm talking about innately because they've been through some of the same stuff. We are the ones that are gonna have to change this community, not the stupid motherfuckers that don't want our dirt being put on blast. They don't want to hide the dirt. I mean, they don't want to. What they want to do is they want to hide the dirt, They want to take off the negative images, change all the movies, stop showing the slave movies, but they don't want to clean it up. If you silence motherfuckers like Tommy or me or everyone else, your dumb, stupid ass, bitch assness want to play victim, want to blame everyone else for your situation, don't want to clean up self. You want to hide it. You want to act like it's not there. And you're trying to convince someone like it tastes good. Put some barbecue sauce and saute sauce on it and make everyone like it. But you know it's vomit. Put our dirt and our vomit out. You want people to love it? No, bitch, you clean it up now. It's your job. Man, woman, you're supposed to clean it up now. On this social media. Matter of fact, I hope I piss you off. Because you're sick of the stuff you see. But I know I'm kind of heated right now, and you'll see different sides. But I did want to say, and I'll say this piece of advice. Those that have a hard time embracing themselves sometimes, or embracing everyone, or embracing certain people, those who have know what I'm feeling, and they have embraced those few like-minded people, African Americans, who know what they're coming from and feel this frustration. Don't judge them too harshly, but understand. Um, I'll do my best, and you should do your best to be a good example for them. Try to be a good example for those black people who were there for you, because not everyone is there for you. And if you feel this way, I know how you feel. People have spit in your face. They had criticism. They judged you. They want to see you one way. They want to see you as a traitor. But all you did was have a problem. All you did was admit to something that was a problem. Maybe you were that you had that mindset, but it's not like you liked it. You just owned up to it and were brave enough to admit it. I got you. I feel you. Because in our awakening, sometimes no one was there to pick us up. No one was there to look. No one was there to say, "Hey, brother, I got you." It was after the fact. You told them. It's like you were falling off a cliff, but you randomly, no one there gave you a rope. No one gave you a helping hand. You put the wings up. You woke yourself up, and now you're struggling to do it by yourself. And no one apologized for the ugliness that ensued. All they could do was, damn, that's fucked up. Don't even want to help you up. But want to spit on you because you can't even get up. But eventually when you get up, by the time you get yourself up, you're gonna be one mad motherfucker. No one came back for me. I'm a fuck. Yeah, of course people are gonna be mad. So if you felt this way, I'm sorry. I would like to personally say I'm sorry for all those who felt like they had no one there for them. They had to come back and do it on their own. But I feel you, and I love you. Those, that section of that port, that 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 section of that those crops of sisters that feel like they've been hurt, and I mean justifiably hurt. I ain't talking about you the ones who, when I mean I love you to a certain group, I'm talking about those crop of African Americans, black and female. Because it may seem like kind of biased, like I don't care about the brothers. I care about that group of sisters who did nothing to these brothers, stuck by them and was loyal. Eventually they cracked, they snapped, and they broke. And now they're done. I understand because I went through the things that you went through. You didn't hurt nobody. You ain't got to apologize for what happened. And the sad part is that you were around the vicinity of the people. You were damn near chased out of the community while I was not even allowed in. And when I was there, I wasn't even given a made to feel comfortable there, let alone accepted or embraced, doesn't matter. I like to first say that I love you. You don't hear that enough, do you? The brothers that felt abandoned or were out, whether they were in or out, I love you too. And hopefully we all can get together because maybe like minds need like minds. And this is not to get a bunch of wounded birds together, but it's just to say, I understand. But you have a problem that I don't hold against you, but let's do the healing. And I don't know how I'm going to do it and who to do it with. Certain people I know how to do it with. But I want to help the healing to the people that can actually face their problems. I want to fix them. It's going to be a lifelong process. I'm just like you. We're just like each other. And we need to work together because we don't have anyone else, but we do have each other. Some brothers need brothers, sisters need sisters, but with like minds and you think alike. And then once we can all group together, then we can, help the next sector of the community. But you gotta help yourself first. But those, my people, my black folks that have a good sense of self, have common sense, that are humble and honest. I love you guys. I see. I don't think we do that enough. I love you guys. I love you, and um, I don't think we hear that. You mean a lot to me. Those who I've connected with, you do. See, I'm not mad at everybody. We're all mad at each other, but I'm mad at everybody. I'm not mad at you. Thank you. I know it hurts sometimes. I know sometimes you may be sitting there, you're a sister here, hearing this shit on these airwaves and all these pictures. I know how you feel. You sit there and get mad, and you finally meet a brother that understands what you've been through, or my brother who's been through. You get mad and angry, but then you kind of break down and cry within yourself, and it feels like finally someone who just, hey, I got you here. But good night, and those of you, try not to put too much incriminating stuff on the internet. Try not to put any crazy videos on YouTube, because I might get some mixed reviews about this. I'm kind of interested to see what's gonna happen. I don't really care, because it has to be said. Um, uh, to all my 22 subscribers, whether you've tolerated me, whether you love the shit out of me, whether you're kind of, hey, I appreciate you for subscribing to me, because I sure as hell subscribe to you. Black Power?